Next up, good man, good poet, Neal Zagarella.
Okay, I'm just going to get right into this. Everything is tumbling down on top of me, the end. That's pretty much my story right now. My name's Pete. I was going pretty good for a while, but that was a while ago. What's not dying? My job? I feel like I'm giving blood every time I go in the place. I mean, it's like the nurse put the needle in me and then her shift ended and her replacement was a couple hours late. I'm drained. College shit, it's over. Well, I'm getting an associate's degree in a couple of weeks, so I should be going on for a bachelor's. However, this feels really final. Not good because, as you know, I don't love my job. Further, I'm not optimistic about ever liking to work for somebody. I don't like being taken advantage of. There's more. My girl? Ha, what a joke. Switch to past tense. My girl. I don't know. One day she's staring dreamy-eyed at me like I'm some hunk boy from the billboards, which I'm not. Then the next day she's got nothing in her eyes at all, and she's regarding me like some Coke bottle, pizza-faced debate team high schooler who just asked her to the prom for the 44th time. Thanks, but get the hell away from me. She said she loved me on our 4th date. She said she didn't 4 days ago. Total lifespan, 2 months. I didn't want to love her. She was too young. Too young for me, and going away in the fall to college in New York. I'm 25. She just turned 18. Hammered the final nail in my coffin on her birthday. She pursued me relentlessly. I kept avoiding her. She came to a college mixer with a mutual friend one night, and we slow danced. She kissed me so softly on the lips. Well, I'd forgotten. I couldn't think of one excuse. So all the little romance things started happening. First date, beautiful spring afternoon on a huge blue-black rocks by the ocean, alone together, kissing, her saying, "Tell me more about yourself. I don't even know you," in that way that girls say those things, let me know that it doesn't matter what I say, she's already falling. I joking, "Well, I just got out of prison last summer on a homicide rap." She would have stayed with me on those rocks kissing me even if I was a murderer. She might even love me more. Anyway, I don't even know if I love her or did or would. I really dug her loving me, though. It had been a while. The last romance ended this past summer. A married woman my age, soft, everything. Skin, voice, touch, heart. Long, convoluted storybook to that affair. I never ever thought I'd date a married woman until one night we were sitting on my buddy's porch kissing. Completely wrong, but I never wanted it to end. Could have died happily in her arms that night. Then a month later, the cataclysmic breakup. I felt like I was closing my eyes for the last time every night I went to sleep last summer. Rose every morning like Lazarus. Walked around in my death shroud all day. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So the soft, pretty 17-year-old girl comes mooning around for me about 9 months later. Coincidental birth of new romance. And I at least feel like I love her because, man, I need love and she is my provider. But that was then, and you know the rest of that old expression. My last date with a 17-year-old, Sandy was her name, about 2 weeks ago. We went to see Billy Bragg plays electric folk in Boston. He popped me full of socialist zeal, which I really needed. The night before, Sandy had asked me one question, the all-time question. What do you want? Man, what a thing to ask. I was stumped. I never even considered it. I ended up launching into some kind of political diatribe, championing the cause of the poor, minorities, physically challenged, unions, etc. and forever, and wound up with this lament. Sandy, it's really depressing to realize I'm always going to be on the losing side of every cause. This after listening to her tell me all about her ex-boyfriend Bobby all the way from Revere to Boston on the dingy, dirty subway where it is pretty much illegal to smile anyway. We were heading into town to a fundraiser for Jesse Jackson's presidential campaign. We never made it. Walked around Faneuil Hall Marketplace in light drizzle and slow tears, hopelessly trying to hold on to our little bag of sparkling warm moments. They kept spilling out, though, falling into puddles and losing their glow, sopping up water and pulling apart, smelling like old wet newspapers. I kept pleading with her unspecifically. Real question that I didn't ask, why don't you love me anymore? Finally, I mop up my tear and rain-stained face and rise to pose a big ultimatum. Sandy, I know you're going away to New York in the fall, but don't we care about each other? I mean, I want to just keep it going while it's good, and we'll worry about the fall when it gets here. I think we could have a really nice summer, but if it's going to be just like this, we might as well forget it. Pause to think and ask myself if I really know what the hell I'm saying, and then, I want to try, Sandy. I want to try too, she answers, and I am relieved, but somewhere inside, like a death row prisoner knows after being given a stay of execution, I know that there's always a next time. I looked around the doldrums all the next day waiting for the Bragg concert. I knew that Sandy really loved Billy Bragg, and in my paranoid but all too often correct mind, I concluded that she was just hanging with me so I wouldn't take someone else to the concert. I didn't call her all day. She called me, small victory for my pride, about an hour before we were scheduled to leave for the show. She said she didn't like the expression I had on my face when I had dropped her off the night before. I wanted to shout pain, Sandy. That was an expression of pain. But instead I appeased her with, well, I just didn't seem like everything had been worked out between us. Yes, she replied, perhaps we could talk more about this tonight. She sounded so bored. What can you do when your girlfriend's bored with you? Man, I was in no mood to drag out the circus props and dress up like Bozo. The Emmett Kelly hopeless look suited me better. I'll pick you up in an hour was all I could say without my emotions leaking out all over the phone. So we went to the concert, and his spirit and everything picked me up. I thought I had a chance. I wasn't sure what I had a chance for, but there was just this general hopefulness swelling inside me, and a defiance against the odds which seemed so heavily stacked against me just a few hours before, back when I thought there was about a 50-50 chance of me being found that night lying face down in a puddle, dead of natural causes. I was back on top and rode my line of wisecracks all the way. She who, for months, even before we started dating, would always laugh at any little bit of humor I tossed out, was instead sitting there beside me in my car, her mind definitely elsewhere, likely plotting my demise. She asked me to stop at McDonald's, which I did. She used the food she got there to keep my tongue out of her mouth later on. My breath must be horrible, she announced, after giving me a sisterly peck on the cheek. It was the last time I saw her. Several phone conversations followed until she finally aborted our little love baby romance over the phone with the standard, I don't think this is working out. That was on Sandy's 18th birthday. Getting rid of me was a present to herself. Addition by subtraction. I told her I wanted to see her one more time just to talk. She said that was fine and told me to call her on the weekend. I told her I would, but I never did. I knew she didn't care anyway. It would be like going to a wake. Gee, Harry looks great. Yeah, but he's dead. Thanks.